Welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dustin.
And I'm Trev, and I figured Dustin was actually going to say it this time, but you know what? He left me hanging again, so there's always going to be that little space at the beginning that I'm not going to ever cut out, because it's just there. Like, it's too much, it's too off the gun to, cut something out few seconds into the episode. Like, there's no way I'm going to do that. And today, we have a very special guest, our good buddy, Lucas Starr. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Lucas is a friend of ours and a YouTuber, just like all of us here. And me and him, I've known him for years, and I don't even know what year did we even meet? I don't even remember now.
I want to say maybe 2014, 2015. That's kind of right when I got into the YouTube world. And I was 110% thrown headfirst into it, and it was really crazy.
Lucas is he has a few channels, but the main one that I focus on is he daily vlogs, which is just insane because how many days, you have not missed a day since when?
I have not missed a day since January 1st, 2014.
I don't know how you do that.
I did my research. Okay, Lucas, and I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit. You being a content creator, I mean, all of us being content creators, really. I just have some questions, and I just kind of want to know and get your thoughts on certain things. So, I did my research, and I just want to say, I have been watching your channel for a very long time, the vlog channel. I even am subscribed to your gaming channel as well. I remember when you'd start doing stuff on the PS4, live streaming on YouTube. It was freaking sweet.
And I haven't done that in years, and I apologize for that. I actually lost the password to that channel, so
he's that channel's
it's really
done.
Sad. I was scrolling through my subscriptions. I was scrolling through my subscriptions probably about a half hour ago, and I saw the Starr games. The last thing you did was an Elgato unboxing, and that was it. You just left everybody hanging.
That was it. Yeah, I don't know. I lost the password to that channel, and I haven't logged in to that channel since probably I uploaded that video.
That's so sad, but funny, kind of.
So
if
anybody wants to see me do gaming videos, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're shit out of luck. You should have watched the one I did.
Exactly, 5 years ago when I did it.
Yeah, it was cool. So, as I was saying, I did my research, and you've never missed a day since. It's been 2,000 days. It's been over 6 years.
Yeah, this is, I believe, year 7.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, since 2014, I started January 1st, 2014. So, yeah, I haven't missed a day, and I don't know how. I've always had trouble sticking to things, and I can admit that. And anybody in my family knows that I always have these projects that I start and I never finish them. So I don't know how I've done it for. I think I'm actually uploading a video right now, and it is day 2000. Hold on, I can't see. 2,242 days.
That's wild. And I'm actually glad that you said that, because this leads me into my next question. I am someone who has dabbled in the daily vlog.
Yeah, Dustin used to
YouTube.
vlog.
I think I made it. Yeah, I think I made to day 160 something, and then I stopped for 2 years or a year or so, and then I went for another. I don't know, it wasn't daily, but I did a series of vlogs, and I did almost 30 or something like that, and then I just haven't touched it since. So, being a content creator and being somebody who has tried the whole daily vlog thing, do you ever, or have you ever just kind of hit that wall where you just you feel I don't know how to say it, almost kind of you lose the passion to make videos, and it almost becomes more of a chore, almost a part of your daily routine. If you don't pick up the camera and record, your whole day's ruined.
Yeah, most definitely. I hit the wall, I would say at least once every other month, where I'm just I can't do this anymore, and I just I get to that point where it's like, what am I gonna vlog? Like, I didn't do anything today, and that's where a lot of my recent vlogs, like I've been so busy, the last year really, with school. I started going to school, and it's just like, do people really want to know that like I sat in a classroom for 8 hours today? But then like if I tag the videos right, and I think we'll probably touch on that later, but tagging is very important in a video. And if I tag, like, I go to Full Sail University, and if anybody knows anything about video or, you know, stuff like that, this is the school to go to.
Right.
And if I tag it right, people will watch it, and they'll be like, oh, I want more videos on Full Sail. And it's hard to do that because I will be honest, I haven't had the best experiences at Full Sail over the last year. And I don't want to, like, you know, make videos saying, like, oh, this place is the worst, and don't come here, because my experiences with this place are not going to be somebody else's experiences with this place. So, you know, like I said, you know, I hit the wall probably once every other month, sometimes more than that, and it's just like I sit here in my room or my living room or my apartment, whatever, and I'm just like, what am I going to vlog? And if you remember back in October when I met Charles Trippy, I literally, like, something lit a fire under my ass, and I just was like, I have to make good videos. What if he watches my channel? I have to make good videos. So there was a good, like, steady incline of my videos where they were, like, 20 minutes long at times, and then it just went downhill because I lose confidence in myself, I guess is, like, the best way to describe it. Is I'm just like, nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to watch me sit in my apartment and talk about nothing, or about how I watched wrestling today. Nobody wants to hear that. But I power through it, and I
think every creator has to go through that at least once.
One of my friends told me to start making up stories.
There you go.
Yeah, I think every creator has to go through that once.
I've thought about it, like, just...
Like, at least once in their life.
What's that?
You feel like every creator...
Well, I'm just saying, at least once every creator goes through that little slump of, like, do I want to do this? Like, is it worth my time? Is it all of that? Because, like, you know, Lucas is, you know, he's going to school, but he's also trying to balance that, you know, like, okay, I'm on this streak for years, like, I'm, you know, and, like, it's like he might even need a day every now and then to just not and, like, reset, but he still does it because it's, like, the passion's still there. Which is, you know, like, me and Dustin, like, I've talked about it on the podcast, like, the energy behind it and, like, and all of that. And, you know, and Dustin gets a lot of, like, oh, your map here, or, like, your Minecraft thing this or that. And, like, he's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, leave me alone. Like, we talked about that last time. Where people try to mold you into, like, okay, I, like, you know, subscribers want you to do what they want to do, like what they want you to do, and it's like, no, I'm putting the time into it. I'm trying to do this, you know. And, like, there's for me being a food reviewer, there's plenty of new food items that I just, like, everyone else reviewed and I just skipped because I just didn't, like, sometimes it's just like, I'm not interested in what that is. I'm not gonna do it just for the views. Like, I would love the views, I would love more subscribers, but it's like, you know, there's just that balance. And figuring out the balance in what you want to do, like, on YouTube is actually extremely hard. Like, it's actually a lot harder. Like, you know, Dustin, like, he's done, like, we've talked about it before, he's done, like, a whole bunch of different, if you want to call it, quote-unquote, genres, like, and tried them all, and just, like, and then, you know, like, he winds up on Minecraft of all things, you know what I mean? It's like, where it's like, dude, that's what I love, but also, you know, he's also trying to branch out into doing, you know, streaming and all of that, which, you know, suppose, you know, you're doing well at, because you are, like, growing at a rate that you didn't expect. So it's just kind of,
it's crazy.
Speaking of growing at a rate, thank you all to for 100 plays. As of today, we hit that, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy. This is the 10th episode. So it's like, how the heck did we, like, already get that many clicks? Like, that's actually really good for, you know, so for 10 weeks is what that means, as whenever this is uploaded, and you're listening to
just
it now.
a little over 2 months.
Yeah, it's like, that's not actually, like, that's just crazy to me. But So thank you all to that. Just wanted to throw that in there because if it wasn't for you guys, like, I mean, we'd probably still do this. It's not like if it wasn't for you guys, we probably wouldn't do this. Like, it's actually like we probably still would, but the rate has been faster than I expected. So thank you for that. And Lucas has also actually been like, I remember when he told me, like, I don't know, a week ago or something, when he's like, dude, I've been actually legitimately listening to your podcast. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Like, you're the first person to be like, hey, like, I'm listening all the time. So thank you, Lucas. You're probably one of the reasons that we got a bunch of those clicks. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to him. We have at my school, we have like lecture, and then we have a lab. And so a lot of times during my labs, I don't do the labs, and I just listen to your guys' podcast, and that's what I do.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy.
And I just want to point out too, before we continue, for anybody that thinks daily vlogging is an easy thing, it's not. And I'm sure Lucas can back me up on that. It is tough.
It is. It's not the toughest thing I've done, but it's up there with like it's a job, and some people go to work Monday to Friday. I've gone to work, technically, if you want to say, I've gone to work for the last 2,000 days and 2,000 plus days and haven't stopped. It's insane.
And not only did he do this for 2,000 plus days, this man has had surgeries. This man has been in and out of the hospital, has had broken bones, and never missed a day. And to me, sir, you are an inspiration. So if anybody out there is thinking like, oh, I've had a string of shitty days, I can't make content, that is a damn lie. Lucas literally had a kidney transplant and then broke his leg and never missed a day.
And all of those are the best vlogs. Like, whenever it's like, this thing's happening to me, it's like, this is good content. Like, let me put this out there.
I'm not gonna lie, Lucas, when you made that video and you're like, I fell at my friend's house, and you're like, did I break my leg? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I was like, I need Lucas's vlog now. I can't wait till tomorrow.
That was Alyssa's idea. That was my friend Alyssa. That was her idea. She's like, you need to just tease this. And I had put it on Facebook, on my personal Facebook that I'm friends with like you guys on, that I had broke my leg, but like I didn't put it on Twitter. I didn't put it on Facebook, Instagram, anything until like 2 days later, and everyone just kind of like flipped shit because they're like, how did you hide that, for one? I didn't go anywhere. I was in a hospital, so I couldn't do anything. It's not like, and I love that video. That's one of my favorite things. And then the next day was previously on Starr Vlogs, and that right there is my favorite moment in all of my vlogs. Well, not my favorite moment. One of my favorite moments in all of my vlogs.
It was awesome. I mean, it's not awesome that you broke your leg, but like just that whole thing, because it's like, like we've all been friends for a while. We've all kind of watched each other's content, and I was just like, I was worried. I was like, oh my God, like I need to know what happened. Like I'm pretty sure I went like fucking stir crazy for 24 hours because I didn't know if you actually broke your leg. And I was like, I need this vlog. It literally drove me wild.
And the thing was, like, so some people asked me, like, did you really know if you had broke your leg at that time? When I had filmed that, I didn't know that my leg was broken. I thought that it was broken, but I also am, I don't know if I'm stupid or crazy, and I'll probably say that a lot, but I thought I just tore, like, my quad. That's what I thought I did. I was like, oh, I tore my quad. And then they came in with the x-ray for that, and they're like, oh, yeah, it looks okay. We're probably going to do a CAT scan or MRI on it next. And then the doctor goes, oh, no, it's broken right there. And I had broken the leg previously, actually, I think it was 10 years, like not to the day, but 10 years to the year that I had broken it previously. And I broke it in the same exact spot on the screw that they used to repair the leg. So I also like to say that I don't do anything half-assed. I go, 100% with everything. So not only did I break my leg, I broke my leg where I broke it before on the screw and the plate that was used to repair my leg.
That's crazy.
And And then I didn't take painkillers for like 4 days after that for some reason. Like I said, I don't know if I'm stupid or I'm just crazy.
I think I remember Lucas kind of recently, over the past few months or something, told me, because I think I talked to you on the phone, and I think rather I watched your vlog about that, or you actually told me in person. Sometimes I can't tell the difference in my memory. So, but because it's you, so it's like no matter what, I'm hearing it from you. But, you know,
Yeah.
I think I remember you telling me that on the phone. Like, yeah, like, do you remember when I broke my leg? And then you kind of told me more details about that. And I was like, because I think you said the doctor or somebody was like, no, you're good, you're ready to go, or something like that. I don't know. I may be remembering that wrong. And then the doctor came in and was like, wait a second, it's broken. Like, it was like all of a sudden, like, I think I remember something like that.
Actually, I remember it was actually surgery. They weren't.
Oh,
gonna do
yeah,
surgery on
that's
it.
what it
And
was.
they're like, oh yeah, it's fine. And because I broke it on a Friday night at like 6 o'clock at night, so they had to transfer me up to Madison because all of my doctors and all of my everything, my life is essentially I live halfway in Madison. I feel like half the time, and Madison, Wisconsin, that is. And I was asked to be transferred up there because that's where all my stuff was. And so I didn't get to Madison until probably 11 or 12 at night. So the doctor didn't come in until Saturday, and he's like, oh yeah, your leg's fine, it'll heal on its own, we're gonna like splint it or something. I don't know what he said, but then the next day they put a cast on it, or no, they put a brace on it, I'm sorry. And the brace was like for Andre the Giant. That's what it looked like compared to my leg. So they put a brace on it. That didn't help. And in the process of them trying to brace it and cast it and all this stuff, they actually broke my leg more. And that's what actually caused me to take painkillers, was because I felt one day they moved my leg over and just pain just shot through my entire leg. And it wasn't the worst pain I felt, because I've felt a lot worse pain in my life, but it was pretty bad. And the next day they come in, they're like, oh yeah, we have to do surgery. And then the doctor was so like intimidated by my mom, because my mom kind of like, flipped out on them. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do the surgery either. And they sent in another surgeon to do the actual surgery on my leg.
Jesus. So like he he didn't want to do this probably because he felt like, dude, they basically broke your leg more. Well, not basically, they did.
They did, yeah.
Jesus
I remember
Christ.
Lucas also telling me that he was super annoyed because like they were basically starving him, like, or he was just like the day of surgery. Like, you're like, you woke up like you were like, I'm so hungry, and they're like, well, you can't eat, gotta go into, or something like that. I don't know, but yeah.
What it was is, like I said, I got to the hospital in Madison at midnight. So if you've ever had surgery, you're not allowed to eat after midnight, because you could choke or something. I don't know the exact science or anything like that. You would think I would, because I've been through so much shit in my life. But they're like, okay, so you can't eat or drink anything today. And then that's when they came in the next morning and said, oh, you can't, we're not doing surgery. You can eat and drink. And then they actually decided on surgery before they actually told me. So I had ordered like all this food like 2 days later, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat, because I hadn't eaten that much in the last couple of days. I'm like, I'm just going to eat all of this stuff that they're going to bring up to me. It was like 7:30 at night, and that's when they told me they were going to do surgery on Tuesday morning. They were going to do it Tuesday morning. They told me at like 8 o'clock Monday night.
So you didn't even get your food?
No, I never got my food. And then like the nurse comes in and was like, we can get you a turkey sandwich. And I'm always, I guess this is like reverse psychology of life is how I see it. I literally looked her in the eyes and said, if I'm going to die tomorrow, I don't want my last meal to be a turkey sandwich. And she just like looked at me like, what the hell is the matter with you? And I said, don't worry, I'm not like suicidal or anything. Like, I'm not crazy. That's just my mentality on surgery. She's like, okay, so you don't want anything? I was like, get me a Gatorade or in some pudding or some ice cream or something, and I'll be happy. And 20 minutes later, she comes in with Gatorade and some ice cream. So I was happy. If that was my last meal, I would have been happy.
Gatorade and ice cream.
I actually kind of like that you brought that up as well, because I don't know. how Trav is with this, but if I have like something negative happen like that, I always tend to like joke and try to make light of the situation just because I feel like if I'm upset about it and I dwell on it, then it's going to change my mood. And I'm really not like a negative person by any means. So like it was the same thing. Like I remember like a good example of this was I had a seizure at my friend's house. Like I like stood up, face planted, boom, hit the living room floor. Out cold. Don't remember shit. I do remember them waking me up and they're like, people are crying. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh my God, I've never experienced that before. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But like, did it look cool when I fell? Like, did I fall? Like, was it like something in a movie or was it like really like lame? And
It's like,
they
yeah,
were
you
like,
fell in
"Why
slow
are
motion,
you
man.
even joking about this?"
With fire behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was like a big explosion. Like in my head, that's how I saw it, you know, like, and I just face plant.
Yeah, that's how when I fell and broke my leg, that was like my main concern was like, did I look cool doing it, or did it look like just bad, like really really bad? And my friend Alyssa, she didn't even believe that I broke my leg, because the first thing I said was, I think I broke my leg, and she looks me dead in the eye and said, "Get up, Lucas. We have to go film." And I was like, "Hey, listen, you need to call 911. I'm not getting up." And it was like a scene from a movie, and I really, like, again, because I'm crazy or stupid, I really wish she would have filmed, like, like the whole, like, waiting for the ambulance and everything, because you would have never known that I broke my leg. I was like, so I guess this doesn't mean I get to go to Florida anymore. Like, that was the first thing I said, was like, oh, I'm not going to Florida next week. Not like, oh, I broke my leg. This is going to be bad. I don't know. And she started freaking out, like calling in 911 and all this stuff. And they asked her, and I'll never forget the look on her face. They go, "Is there bone sticking out of his skin?" And she goes, "I'm not looking, so no." And I started laughing, like, you know. And then they get to to her house, and they're like, "So you broke your leg?" I said, "I'm pretty sure I broke my leg, but I'm not sure." They're like, "Are you in any pain?" I said, "No, I'm good."
I'm good.
And they take me into the ambulance, and they start doing my vitals and all that stuff. And they're like, "Well, your blood pressure's pretty high. Are you sure you're not in pain?" And I go, "No, I have renal hypertension." And they're like, "What's that?" So a bunch of EMTs didn't know a condition that they probably should have known. And I said, "I've had a kidney transplant. That's why my blood pressure's high. It's all fine. This is fine. Just take me to the hospital." And they're like, "Okay." And yeah, I don't know. I still, like I said, I wish that I would have had a lot of that vlogged, because I would have liked to have seen how I was actually reacting. Because in my head, I was acting like a total badass. But, you know, maybe I was probably crying a little bit. I don't really remember all too well, but who knows?
It's really funny, like, you know, 'cause a lot of the times, like when something happens or you're doing something and it kind of like you realize what's going on, you kind of like trigger like a memory or you know, think about something you like. And it was so funny because the other day my fiance and I had to go to court. We're not in trouble. No, it was just some stuff to do with kids, but that's completely private and out of the podcast. So it was funny because I had black jeans on, I had my black Timberland boots on, and I had like a black coat. And we're walking into this little like court thing, and in my mind I was like, I look like the fucking Punisher. Like I look like John Bernthal. Like I'm ready to just go in here like guns blazing. Like in my head I was like these people are gonna shoot me as soon as I walk in the door. And I started walking all weird and stuff, and my fiance's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, and I was like, "I feel like the Punisher." And she goes, "You're not. He's like 10 times the size of you, and he's straight muscle." And I was like, "Well, thanks for the confidence boost, sweetheart." But yeah, it's just kind of really funny that like sometimes in certain situations, like you picture yourself as like this, you know, it's like here I am, this 5'3" nothing in a coat that's 2 times too big for me. So, you know, thinking I look like the Punisher, and I had arms the size of my fucking torso, which is not the case.
I know the feeling. I get that sometimes too. Like I think I look cool when I wear something, and then I'll walk by a mirror or something. I'm like, wow, I look a lot less cooler than I think I look right now. And it
Right.
just kind of like gives me like this, like I just am like, man, this
which is
sucks.
every single
Yep.
day that I wake up ever. Like it just
Wow,
just
Trav.
like
Are
I
you okay,
think I
buddy?
look cooler. Nah, I'm actually I actually look really stupid.
It's also really funny too. Like I listen to Machine Gun Kelly a lot. And I don't know. I'm sure Lucas may be kind of familiar with his music. I know Trav doesn't listen to him.
Oh
But
yeah, I know who he is.
yeah, so like he raps about like drugs and cocaine and well that's drugs and like sex and like just being this rebel thug. And like MGK is my favorite artist, and it's so funny because like again my fiance like just tends to really shoot me down when I'm on a high, and she goes, you can rap every one of his fucking songs word for word and about drugs and like say it like him and act like him and like sound like him and everything. And she's like, for someone who really has never done drugs in their life, you sure like to listen to a lot of music about it. And I was just like, like I felt so uncool because I didn't do
I
drugs.
felt so uncool.
That
It's like that alter ego thing,
That's how
like
I
that's
feel,
what music can do to you sometimes is make you feel awesome and yeah, it is kind of a reality check when you're like, oh, kind of like that whole thing whenever you think you can sing but you hear the recording of yourself and you're like, I cannot sing. 'Cause like your voice always sounds different whenever it's coming out of you, when you're listening to yourself in the moment. But listening back on something, which is like every video I've ever made ever too, where I'm like, I thought I sounded different than that, but all right. It's just like, I don't know. It's really weird how that works. But yeah, same thing with vocals or any of that. It's like, yeah, this sounds like garbage when I thought it was better. But that can actually be a way to learn from it too, where like situations like that, and dressing a certain way and everything too. It could almost be a learning, like just keeping yourself in check of like, okay, well, I look or sound either way like a douchebag, and I don't need to be like that and act like that. Like it's just kind of, it's just sometimes you can learn from it, but
100%. I'll admit this right now. I dress like a fucking asshole. Like the clothes I wear and the style of clothes I wear, it looks like I mistreat women, and obviously I don't. But it's so funny, and like I've literally like had people tell me that based on my appearance that they couldn't be friends with me because they thought I would have like a shitty personality. Like basically like you're a Chad and I fucking hate you, and I'm like, but I'm not. Like I'm real sensitive and soft. I'm not. I just dress like a
trust me,
dickhead.
man. Like,
Like I don't-
just because me and Dustin rock the backward snapbacks and the beards, it's like there's always going to be that judgment. Like, there's always going to be like it's just like, and all we're doing is like we're just looking like how like I would just want to be comfortable. And
right.
and I'll wear shirts of
that's
stuff
exactly
I
it.
love. I'm wearing a Naruto shirt right now. I love that show. It's my favorite anime. It's like I'm okay with wearing graphic tees and just like whatever, but I'm also okay with dressing nice too and all that, and like actually trying to do stuff like that, but I'm just more of like a casual wearer guy.
That's how I am. Like the button downs, the flannels, like there's nothing to me there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how I like to dress.
It's like hats are this thing where it's like if you don't wear it, like until you start wearing them, you don't know. You're just like, it's weird. It's like you have to make yourself become a hat person, which is what I just had to do. I mean, on top of that is like my hair is just the worst. Like it's never, it just does its own thing, and I can't like, I can like style it or whatever, but I get lazy. So like I'll just throw a hat on just because it's like, it's the easiest way to do it. I'd rather throw a hat on for a video too, other than just be like, oh, I'm gonna like make my hair look good. Like, no, like it's just so much energy. So like,
And you know what though? My hair's the same way, man. And it's like I can tell you right now, because obviously Trista's not gonna let me wear a hat on my wedding day. And it's like anytime I need my hair to look good and like style a certain way, it just doesn't fucking work. But like on a day like today, like I was off work, if I would have like styled my hair, it would have fucking been spot on, perfect, exactly how I want it every single time. But I guarantee you, my wedding day, I'm gonna fight with that shit.
Exactly. Trust me though, man. Like you'll worry about it more than ever it'll actually be. Because on my wedding day, it was literally like I was worried that it was garbage, and it actually turned out really good according to the photos.
Yeah, it
I
looked
was
really good in
literally like,
pictures.
wow, I actually pulled off like a good look, and my beard and everything was on point. And I was because like beard days, like good days and bad days with the beard is it's so random. Like it never like me and Dustin should know that where it's like you wake up one day and even you try to comb it and you try to whatever, like even after a shower where it's supposed to be nice and like weighed down and like look kind of straight and like everything, it'll just be like, nah, I'm gonna curl and go crazy like whenever, and you're like, why? Like I'm combing you, what is the problem? Like and it's just like, and it's the same length as always, and just one day it's like I'm gonna do what I want. Like that's basically the beard's attitude. So it's like that for me is always a struggle on looks, where it's like right whenever I need stuff like that to look good, it decides to not. But nah, sometimes I'm just laying around the house or whatever, and everything looks great. It's like, okay, that's that, and that kind of stuff gives me anxiety and stresses me out, and like all that, and then my self-conscious issues like pop up in my head, and I'm just like, why? It's like that feeling of why do I gotta be me? Like, but
I noticed. I watched Lucas's vlog yesterday, and like Lucas had that issue with his hair. Like, he took his hat off. He's like, I need to do some with this because this is just fucking crazy. Like, Lucas has glorious hair too, by the way. Like Lucas, I'm jealous.
Do you want? Okay, I'll give the secret away to my hair on this podcast right here. I don't wash my hair every day. Like, I know that's probably like a common thing that people do, but I wash my hair maybe twice a week. And
that's actually really healthy for your hair.
Yeah, because your hair has a lot of natural oils. And I actually learned that from Harley from Epic Mealtime. He was like, I don't wash my hair except for like once. I think he said like twice a month, which I hope to God he was lying. But yeah, I don't wash my hair, and it's so soft, and I love it. And a lot of girls have loved my hair in the past, and it's kind of weird to me. But and thank you for saying that about my hair. It's actually taken about a year to get it back to where it is, because I don't know if anybody watched the vlogs from like a year ago, but I was suffering with some pretty bad psoriasis, and it was literally from my scalp to my stomach, and I lost probably, I want to say, maybe close to 20% of my hair on my head from it. So
that's crazy.
I had to, like, because I was trying to grow my hair out. Like, that's what I'm trying to do again now, is grow my hair out. And I actually ended up just cutting it all off mostly and regrowing it. And then I decided, like, oh, I kind of like my hair short, so I cut it again in, like, I think October. And I left the top longer. So I really like it. And then it turned out that was, like, I think I got it cut, like, a couple days before I went and saw We the Kings. And that's the day that I met Charles Trippy. And I hadn't watched his vlogs in, like, probably a month and a half or so. And it turned out we had the same exact haircut, and it was really awkward. Because I'm like, this guy knows who I am. He knows that I look up to him, and he knows I'm going after his record. And I meet him, and we have the same exact haircut. It was probably one of the more awkward moments in my life, I feel like.
And I just want to bring that up, too, because I think you and I have a big love and a big affinity for Charles Trippy. Because we've discussed that. I really think that's where we kind of like bonded over. Because I remember when I moved to Florida, now I'm back in Pennsylvania, but when I moved to Florida, I remember messaging you and was like, dude, we need to like get together and go to Playlist Live and meet Charles. Like,
it goes stalk Charles Trippy.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
like,
our plan.
I do remember that, and I was actually thinking about that earlier. Actually, I was like, man, like, Dustin was in Florida, and I was gonna come down for Playlist, and I just actually seen something the other day about how Playlist is actually gonna be, like, I think next month, if I remember correctly. I was like, man, I wish I had the opportunity to go to that, but it falls on the same weekend as my school's like Hall of Fame bull crap that we have to do. Not bull crap. It's actually a really cool week, but it actually falls on the same week. So that kind of sucks. So I won't be able to go do anything with that.
That does suck.
But
Dang.
I think also, if I remember correctly, I met Charles like that same weekend that we were talking about that at VidCon. If I remember correctly, it was in that same kind of time frame.
It was, yeah. It was. We might have talked about it after you met him. I can't remember. It was either like just before you met him or just after you met him.
Yeah, and that was like that was surreal. Like,
oh yeah,
the first
he
time
was
I
in
met
your
him,
vlog.
it was yeah. That was the second time. The first time that I met him was literally probably 30 seconds, and he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I said, "Hi, I'm Lucas," and he's like, "Oh, hi, Lucas." And then the next time, that was when it's the vlog. I still know the day, and I still know the title. It's I'm nervous, or I think something like that, and then
Yeah.
it's day 569 because Charles did the intro for it, and I love the intro. And if anybody wants to know how nervous I was, watch the video, and I filmed Charles's crotch the entire time because that's how nervous I was. I didn't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
and then he just gave me this whole big spiel about how, like, you know, me vlogging with all my, you know, crap going on, it's helping people. And I just, like, those are the words that I will, like, always remember. And kind of going back to your first question about how I still do this, that's how I still do this. Like, I will look at that quote, and I'm like, this is why I'm doing this. Somebody's going to watch these videos one day, and they're going to, like, be like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it.
Right. That's exactly it. And the second time you met him, like, it wasn't through a meet and greet. Didn't you just happen to kind of like cross paths with him? Isn't that how that whole thing kind of worked out?
In a way, yes. Like, I follow him on Snapchat. Well, when he used to post on Snapchat, he doesn't post anymore, which that makes me sound like such a stalker. But it was me and my cousin Madison, and we were watching an iJustine interview or something, and her and Charles were my top two to meet that weekend. And I met iJustine a little bit later in the weekend. But, yeah, I was looking on Snapchat, and I seen he was, like, literally probably 500 feet away from me. So I go to Madison. I'm like, hey, we're going over here to this booth. She's like, why? I said, don't worry. Don't ask questions. Just let's go. And we went over there, and he had this line, and Allie West came up to me first and started talking to me and gave me a hug, which was awesome. And then Charles came up to me, and we had that little conversation that's in the vlog. And, yeah, that's, like, how that all happened. And then I met him again in October, and he remembered who I was, which kind of scared me because he has seen thousands of faces, I would say millions maybe, since that time. And it was mind-blowing to me. So, and he gave me a hug afterwards. He's like, you can do this. You go after my record. And that just was like, I literally, and I didn't tell anybody this, on my way home from the concert that night, I literally bawled my eyes out because of that.
Oh, I've said it too, because obviously he's played Warped Tour, RIP Warped Tour. It's not really like gone, but he played Warped Tour, and
it's coming back this year.
Yeah, which I'm excited about.
I don't know that for a fact. Don't take that as a fact, anybody. Just I'm saying that as I'm manifesting it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I firmly believe it. But I remember because when I actually moved back to PA, I was gonna come back the weekend of Warped Tour, and I was gonna go with my friends, and like in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking meet Charles Trippy. And I ended up not being able to come back at that time. But like I've literally told people, and I still tell people to this day, like when we talk about We the Kings, it's like if I was to meet him, I wouldn't know what to do. Like I feel like I would go to tell him like about my seizures and everything, and I'd have a breakdown. I feel like I would have a breakdown in front of that man because I wouldn't know what to do or say, because like I literally look up to him and everything he's been through, and it's crazy how much the internet like can impact people like that, just like an individual person. And I want to meet Allie so bad.
Yeah. Oh, Allie is literally the sweetest person. I wouldn't say, she's the sweetest person I've ever met. She, it was funny when I met her in October as well, and I actually got to meet Remy as well, which was really cool. So I've met
That's awesome.
Almost all of the Trippies now, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. And she started backing up, and I was in my little scooter thing, going across like not a parking lot, but like a little driveway thing, and I was like, "Oh my God, don't hit me!" And she literally got out of her car, and she's like, "Oh no, no, baby, I'm not gonna hit you. Don't worry, don't worry." I'm just like, "You're the sweetest person ever. You didn't even have to get out of your car to say that. You just could have yelled at me and said that." And like, it was just the most awesome thing in my life.
How tall is she in person? Because she looks so tall in the vlogs.
She's taller than Charles. I don't know how tall Charles is, but she's like, I want to say like maybe 5'7", 5'8", around that range.
I was gonna say she has to be close to 6 foot. Like she looks really tall.
Yeah, because I know she's definitely taller than Charles, and she wasn't even wearing like heels or anything. She was wearing like flip flops, I believe. God, I sound like such a creep.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, obviously you're gonna remember the
Like,
details. I mean,
Yeah,
why not?
she's 6'2". She weighs 121 pounds. Like just that's
It's
a
like
joke,
it's
by
like
the way,
I
everybody.
it's like I look it up right now and Lucas was spot on.
I'm pretty good with predictions. That's the weird thing. Like, a little quick side story. My physical therapist back home, who I'm like really good friends with now, she got pregnant a couple years ago, and she didn't tell anybody, and I knew it before she even told anybody. I literally was in my physical therapy office. She left because she got sick. She left, and I told the receptionist, I was like, "She's pregnant." And 8 weeks later, she like sent out like a little announcement to everybody that she was pregnant. So I am the king of predictions. I also predicted Prince's death, and I predicted Tom Petty's death, which I hate that I predicted those two things, but it happened.
Well,
Hey, that
wait,
does
you
happen
gotta
sometimes.
elaborate a little more on
Right?
that. Like, how did you, the Prince thing? Like, what did you think of it before he was gone?
So the Prince thing, if you guys remember, he had to have like an emergency landing in Illinois. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I read it on Twitter or something, and I was talking to my mom. I was like, "Oh yeah, Prince will die in the next like month," and literally less than a month later, he was dead. Like, and I wasn't joking about death, but I was just like, I said it as like a, like, oh yeah, like, you know. And then the whole Tom Petty thing, somebody asked me, they're like, "Well, who's gonna die next then?" And I go, "Tom Petty." And literally in October, he passed away. And I feel terrible about it because I love Tom Petty. Tom Petty's one of my favorite artists. But yeah, I don't know how I predict these things, but I do, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I'm obviously really jealous you met Charles Trippy. And I know you're a big Walking Dead fan.
Yes.
And in April, if hopefully this all works out, there's a Comic-Con in Pittsburgh, and John Bernthal's going to be there. And I need
will
to
be
meet
so
him.
Jealous
I
if
need
you
to meet him. I'm going to
Yeah,
meet
I'd like
him.
to meet him too.
I will like fly to Pennsylvania to give you a hug.
Why don't you just fly to
If you
Pennsylvania and just
need-
go to the Comic-Con?
That too, but I don't know my schedule for April, so
It's on a weekend, if that helps at all.
yeah. But
It's like a Friday,
so
Saturday, Sunday.
my school is really weird. I feel like I should talk more about my school, but I haven't really talked about it because I kind of have my ups and downs here. But my schedule, like I won't get my schedule for next month until Wednesday night at like 8 p.m. So I have like literally no time to plan anything, and it sucks.
Yeah, that makes it really hard to plan. But I'm excited
like
because I'm really excited to meet him. If I get to meet him, if I get to go to this thing, even if I just go for like one day, just like, don't hate me for this, Lucas. I could not really get into The Walking Dead, and I absolutely,
no hate here.
I absolutely hated Shane's character. But I think that was the whole point of Shane, was to like, he wasn't meant to be liked. And I remember when I started watching The Punisher, and I was like, oh my God, like I can't watch this. It's the guy from Walking Dead. And I hated his character in The Walking Dead, but I fell in love with The Punisher. And I'm actually going to get a Punisher Funko Pop, and I'm going to have him sign it. And like, I'm just so excited. Like I just have so many questions for him, because they do a panel too, where you can sit in and he'll talk about like his movies and his TV shows. And I really feel like a lot of his focus is going to be on The Punisher and The Walking Dead. So I'll let you know
and like
what that's about.
yeah, I love The Walking Dead, as you said. Like it's one of my favorite shows. And funny enough, that's all I watched when I was in the hospital after my transplant. Just constantly Walking Dead, and I was just like, this is all I'm gonna watch for the next however long it takes me to heal. And yeah, like when I moved down to Florida, I actually went to where they filmed it, which was so amazing to see, like how like this small town that's literally smaller than the town that I grew up in films this massive show. It's so crazy. Like it's just insane. I don't even know how to explain it. It's beyond words to me.
Yeah, and you got a Nick and Norman's hat, which that was like a big part of the show, right? It had like there was something with Nick and Norman's in Walking Dead.
It's not in Walking Dead. Oh, it's been in there, but it's not like a main focal point of the show. It's Norman Reedus's and Greg Nicotero's restaurant that they opened in Sonoya. Like literally, if you go to Nick and Norman's and you walk down the street like 50 feet, that's where they filmed The Walking Dead, and it's insane to see.
I bet.
But yeah, I got the hat. What's that?
No, go ahead.
I got the hat, and I got a glass not a glass, like a solo cup, like the plastic ones that are like the hard plastic.
Yeah.
And like I asked them, I said, hey, listen, will you like call me when Norman Reedus is here so I can come meet him? And they just like laughed at me because I guess they get that so much. Like there's people that come in there like every day just to see if they can meet them. Like that's how crazy of a show it is. And now I found out that they host watch parties for the show, and it's funny. Like if you go onto like the Facebook events for it, it says at the very bottom, we cannot guarantee any cast members will appear, and it's a winky face. So it's like, okay, that's just telling me that somebody's gonna be there. I don't care who it is. It could be a zombie or a walker, I guess. I don't want any of the Walking Dead people to hate me because I said zombie. It could be a walker, and I'd be like, oh, cool, I watched Walking Dead with somebody on the show. So it's a really cool place. If you're a Walking Dead fan, I highly recommend taking the trip to Sonoya, Georgia. It's an hour outside of Atlanta, and it's a really beautiful, nice little town. And they film so many shows there. They have like their own like Hollywood Walk of Fame type of thing there, and it's just so cool to see all like the shows that were filmed there and everything like that. But Walking Dead is kind of, I feel like, what made them.
Oh yeah, Georgia's like a hot spot for modern shows nowadays, I think, to be filmed there, because it's obviously the same thing with Stranger Things. Like Stranger Things was filmed outside of Atlanta as well, and I so badly want to go with my fiance and just like to just check out some of those spots and just like be there. I think it'd be just a super, super cool experience, because the only thing I've ever got to really experience like that is the Monroeville Mall here in Pittsburgh, which the Steel City Con's actually at the Monroeville Convention Center. And if you know anything about the Monroeville Mall, that's where that George Romero movie, oh my God, Night of the Living Dead, one of the Living Dead movies, was filmed in the Monroeville Mall. And they actually like do a thing sometimes too where like the anniversary of the movie, you can go and they'll actually like take you on a tour around the mall and show you like, okay, like this scene was filmed here and this was filmed here. And it's just really cool, like to be in there and know that like a movie that is a cult classic was filmed there. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that it's and the Sonoya, Georgia, and it sounds like this place is like that too. They're not shy about what comes out of this this city or this town. They have like literally I don't know how far. I know you said you didn't really like Walking Dead, but how far did you get to like Woodbury, like the Woodbury's parts?
I think I literally watched the first 3 seasons, and that was it.
So you might not have gotten to that. I'm trying to remember, because I'm actually currently rewatching The Walking Dead for some weird reason, even though I've seen it like 6 times. But Woodbury, if you look up like Woodbury on YouTube for Walking Dead, that's where all this is. That's where I was. Like that's where Nick and Norman's is, and they have this giant Walking Dead museum and store there that's really, really cool to check out. Like the people just were like, I told them kind of like my story a little bit, and they're like, oh well, our museum's not open, but here, go unlock it and go look in there for free. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say no to seeing all this. They have like Daryl's bike from the first few seasons down there. the prison cells are down there and all that stuff, and it's just a really cool experience. And like I said, it was for me. I was just like, I almost want to say that overtook like wrestling at the moment for me. Anybody who knows me knows that wrestling is like my first true love, I feel like. But just seeing all that and being up close to, all that stuff was even cooler than like going to like a WrestleMania for me or anything like that.
Oh yeah, because I mean, like, people can have kind of this like connection with like TV shows and movies, and I think like, I watched Dexter, and I'm actually rewatching Dexter, and my fiance and I are watching The Punisher, and it's just like, we are big Stranger Things fan. It's just like, I want to go. So like I said, I want to go to just be at like the Hawkins school and to like look in and like see the tiger paint on the wall. I feel like I would be like a kid in a candy store. I feel like that'd be an experience you would just never forget.
Yeah,
for sure. Like I love Dexter as well, and I've watched that a few times as well. And I really want to go to Miami, but my dad, like, who I really don't talk to my dad that much, but he's like, don't go to Miami because it's crazy there, and like that which sucks. Like, I still really want to go, and I'm hoping one day my two of my best friends, Matt and Paul, can make it out here, and we'll go down there and check out all the sites from Dexter, even though they didn't really film much of it there.
Right.
But still, it's just it would be cool to like see like
his apartment and stuff.
Kind of where it was like based out of. You
can actually see his apartment there too. And I actually looked it up.
Miami, I didn't.
It is. You can actually look it up too. I looked it up on YouTube, and somebody filmed the sign of the apartment complex, and I actually looked it up on Google and like found the apartment complex's website. What really made me sad though is the interiors to the apartments look nothing like they did in Dexter, and I was like, damn, like that'd be so cool though.
Just like go like rent the apartment for like 8 months and just live in there, like if it looked like it, and just be like, yeah, I live in Dexter's apartment, so yeah.
Do you guys have
cool
your recommendations in mind? Because I kind of thought of mine, but I wonder, because Lucas, I don't know if you ever made it to one of the end of the podcast episodes, but we do recommendations. Do you have one, or do you think one of us should go first?
And your recommendation could be really anything, like, like advice, or like if you have like a suggestion, or kind of like an idea maybe, to share,
or
something
even
like
recommending
that,
a show that you're enjoying or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought about this earlier, and I'm trying to think of what it was, and I can't remember it now, and it's really upsetting me. So give me a minute to think. You guys can go first if you want. So I can think, because it was a band that I wanted to recommend, but I don't
Steel
remember who
Panther.
it was. So I'm gonna look through my music really quickly.
Well, I'll go ahead and drop mine and get it out of the way.
Trevor.
Watch Starr vlogs, everybody. That's kind of a cheap one because he's right here on the show, but I feel like well, I was gonna say like watch more vloggers, like they're really inspirational and stuff, but then I was like, I'll just plug Lucas himself. Guys, that's in the description, by the way. I'll put a link to couple of his channels in there. Among the Elder Scroll of a description we have is what I call it, because I mean it's like it just keeps going and keeps going. Yeah, his channel will be in the description, guys, because like daily vlogging is, it's not easy, and just like I would just recommend you guys just go support him. And like sometimes he does the long vlogs, sometimes he does like 5 minutes, like it just depends on his day. And like I think that's one of the things I really like about Lucas's content is like it's totally him. Like it's completely him and his personality and everything, and so there's something very like real about that, like, because I feel like I know Lucas personally enough to know, like, okay, those videos, like, that is Lucas, like, to the T, which is, like, what me and Dustin try to do with our main channels, too, is, like, just try to be, well, and the podcast, obviously, this is obviously just us talking, like, there's no, like, trying to cover it up with, like, I'm gonna do this or that, or try to get views, like, it's just,
I have lost Trav on the call.
Just pure content creation by real people, I guess. Like, it sounds kind of cliche, but Dustin, you got one?
Yes, my recommendation is gonna kind of be based off of Lucas's life and things he's been through, because Lucas is an inspiration to me. And like the fact that this man just grinds and grinds and grinds no matter what, and like has not missed a day in over 2,000 days is just, if you are passionate about something, whether it's creating content, whether it's anything, no matter what happens to you in your life, whether it be good or bad, don't ever let that stop you from doing something that you love and that you're passionate about. Because if anybody can prove that it is Lucas. The man had a freaking kidney transplant and had surgeries and like still has not missed a day. Like literally, if Lucas can do it, anybody can do it. Nothing should ever stop you or hold you back. That's my recommendation. Just continue to push.
I love that, man. That's beautiful. Lucas, are you still thinking about yours?
No, I kind of I'll change mine because I honestly
Okay.
don't remember what it was going to be originally, which kind of pisses me off. But because I usually remember everything, which makes me mad. But I kind of just want to take a little bit from what Trav and Dustin said, and I want to recommend their channels obviously because they put out great content, and Trav is putting up great food reviews. And one of the best food reviewers in my opinion.
Well, thank you.
And like you said earlier, you can't always get like the top new products and stuff like that, but you can, you do your best. And I want to, thank you both for, saying that I'm an inspiration to you. It really does mean a lot to me. And like they said, you can do whatever you want to put your mind to. I have believed that with all my heart for all my life. I've had dreams that are big and dreams that are small, and somehow I'm still here, and I've accomplished most of them, I want to say. And it's just, if you can put your mind to something, I believe that 100% you can do it. And I'm a big believer in PMA, which is positive mental attitude, and that's kind of how I've gotten through a lot of stuff in my life.
Jacksepticeye's merch.
Like they said, just if you think you can do, don't think you can do something because you can do it. Like that's the way I think. Like if I, what am I trying to say here? So, basically, like
Don't second guess
your mind to
yourself. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Don't
just
don't
do
second
it.
guess yourself.
Just simple as
And
that. Just do the thing.
to kind of quote Nikki Sixx, who is a part of one of my favorite bands. Trust your instinct, and if anyone tells you, you can't do something, tell them to go fuck themselves. That's like basically
yes.
the motto of my life, because I've been put down. I've been told I can't do things in my life. Like I was told or my parents were told. I wasn't. Well, I was technically told, but my parents were told when I was like a month old that I would never walk and I would never talk. Yeah, I can't walk that well, but sometimes you can't get me to shut up. So
And you're talking on vlogs.
all things are possible.
It's like you're talking on vlogs all the time,
I-
so it's like, screw them.
Exactly. Like all things are possible. Believe in yourself and trust your instinct, like I said, and follow your dreams. That's like my biggest thing. Follow your dreams.
Well, that's amazing, guys. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Definitely tune in on Spotify, YouTube, most of the listening platforms. If you search it, we're most likely there. If we're not, then
Crap, forgot to
we're
plug
not.
the
Yeah,
email.
bbroshow@gmail.com. That's in the description below. And do your thing and tweet us. Send us a message on Twitter if you don't want to email. If you don't want to take time to email, freaking tweet us. There's a Twitter there. It's down there. Look, it's right there. Right? See it? Okay. Well, if you don't see it, then whatever. Lucas, thank you for joining. He will definitely be back. We'll be doing this again at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe some like filler, okay, we need like more guests, and then we just have Lucas again, and then again, and then again. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But and if there's ever,
And then I'll just grow a beard.
yeah, you
and
get
I'll just be the third co-host, right?
the Three Musketeers
cool
of
with that.
beardom here. Like, if he grows one, like that's a horrible reference, but yeah, you guys have a good one, and we love you. See ya.
Bye.